Question: what are prohibited activities in the recruitment and placement of overseas workers? Answer: the prohibited activities, whether committed by any person or an employment agency, are as follows. Accepting or charging fees greater than that specified by the Secretary of Labor and Employment, or to make a worker pay or acknowledge any amount greater than that actually received by him as a loan or advance. Furnishing or publishing any false notice or information or document in relation to recruitment or employment. Giving false notice, testimony, information or document, or any act of misrepresentation for securing a license or authority under the Labor Code, or for documentation of hired workers with the POEA. Inducing or attempting to induce a worker already employed to quit his employment in for another job offer, unless the transfer is to liberate a worker from oppressive terms and conditions of employment. Influencing or attempting to influence any person or entity not to employ any worker who has not applied for employment through his agency or who has formed, joined, or has been contacted or is supported by any union or workers' organization. Recruitment or placement of workers in jobs harmful to public health or morality or to the dignity of the Republic of the Philippines. Obstructing or attempting to obstruct inspection by the Secretary of Labor and Employment or by his duly authorized representative. Failure to submit reports on the status of employment, placement vacancies, remittance of foreign exchange earnings, separation from jobs, departures and such other matters or information as may be required by the Secretary of Labor and Employment. Substituting or altering employment contracts approved and verified by DOL to the prejudice of the worker. For an officer or agent of a recruitment or placement agency to become an officer or member of the board of any corporation engaged in travel agency or to be engaged directly or indirectly in the management of travel agency. Withholding or denial of travel documents from applicant workers before departure for monetary or financial considerations, or for any other reasons, other than those authorized under the Labor Code and its implementing rules and regulations. Failure to actually deploy a contracted worker without valid reason. Failure to reimburse expenses incurred by the worker in connection with his documentation and processing for purposes of deployment, in cases where the deployment does not actually take place without the worker's fault. And, to allow a non-Filipino citizen to head or manage a licensed recruitment or manning agency.